Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about your central nervous system. Okay, so when you're in any situation, when you have any symptoms, pain, buzzing, burning, when you have upset stomach, when you have any of your symptoms, it doesn't matter what they range from, any disease, whether it be anxiety, mental illness, anxiety, depression, anything. The number one thing I want you to do is learn to calm your central nervous system. So this is all about calming your fight or flight system, okay? So the first thing that we need to do is realize that we are not in fight or flight. We are not in danger. We're not in danger. That's what this fight or flight system does. It perceives that we are in danger. Now, some of you are already in freeze. You've gone past fight or flight and you're totally in freeze. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the number one thing that you need to do is become aware. First, the only way you can stop it is by becoming aware. So you become aware that your central nervous system is overactivated. That is the number one thing that you have to do every single day, whether you're getting stressed out about your relationships, whether you're getting worked up about your symptoms, whether you're, sorry, my gloves, and it's so cold out here. Hang on a sec. So whether you are analyzing your relationships or your pain symptoms or any your health regime or your day or why you're not a good parent or the house isn't clean or your to-do list or anything that you have going on, you are likely activating your fight or flight nervous system response. You are upset, you're worrying, you're freaking out, you're stressed out. All of that leads to overfiring of your central nervous system. So I've talked about it before, and you can go back and watch any of my videos on the fight or flight response to get a really in-depth look at how to stop this. But the main thing that you need to realize in anything that you do all day long is it's so important to become aware that you are in fight or flight. You are in fight or flight or freeze, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And you need to settle and calm your central nervous system. So we need to change what's happening. We need to be able to step back and detach from our symptoms and our feelings and our emotions and everything that's overwhelming us in the moment. And we need to be able to say, okay, I'm aware that I'm in fight or flight. I'm aware that my central nervous system is over-responding and overreacting. And my number one job here is to calm myself, to calm my system, to make it feel safe. So you need to be able to feel safe. So what does that look like? It might look like taking deep breaths. It might look like just stopping the argument that you're in, or stopping the conversation that you're in, or stopping the train of path of the thought that you're going down, or the freak out that you're circling around, or the monkey mind that's spinning out of control, and just really breaking the pattern. So it's about a pattern interrupt. So stopping and being like, okay, I'm in the kitchen, worrying about this, doing that. So you just stop, you set everything down, and you take a couple of breaths and you change your pattern. You go into a different room. Maybe you sit down on the couch, you go for a walk, you do a different activity. So you want to have a real solid pattern interrupt. Right? So when something's happening, you're going down a track and you realize, you become aware. That's your number one thing. Once you become aware, you can stop it. And the best way to stop it is with a pattern interrupt. So we break whatever we're doing. We stop immediately talking. We stop doing the activity we're doing. We want to physically, mentally, and spiritually, all three of them, change, like pattern interrupt. So whatever your location or your environment, change it. Whatever your thoughts or your thinking, change it, right? Whatever your emotional state, whoever you're around, whatever you like, go play soft soothing music or go play dance music and start dancing. Like, you really need a big, almost comical, like an overreaction. It's like you're really heightening this pattern interrupt. So you want to interrupt what you're doing. And once you're aware and you interrupt it, then you can come in with the calming, like what you need to do, the right things that you need to tell yourself. Like, remember, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm doing a good job, I'm choosing a new reaction now. I'm going to choose to be calm and healthy and comfortable. And you have to know what you're going to choose. So this is where, retraining your brain comes in. So we're going to talk a lot about retraining your brain. So we want to know what our future life is going to look like, who we are, what the pattern that we want is. So you might say something like, I'm healthy and comfortable in every situation in my life. No matter what I'm doing, what I'm eating, who I'm around, I feel healthy and safe in my body. Period. Right? So if you practice and you rehearse this sentence over and over, then when you are in, a freak out, a nervous system, fight or flight response, you become aware, and now you do like a pattern interrupt and you say, no, like you basically just say, no, I'm going to change what's happening right now. You go, change your physical location, change your mental thoughts, your emotional state, very dramatically. Once you've changed it, then you start to talk to yourself. You start to say, okay, I understand what's happening. I'm in a fight or flight response. My nervous system, my central nervous system is overreacting. It's firing, sending all kinds of signals to my body. And I am in a pattern loop here, right? I am playing out a subconscious pattern that I choose to no longer play out. I no longer choose to play this pattern out. So this is, our awareness turns into a choice. But then we have to say what we do want. And this is what we're working towards, our, retraining our brain, what we do want. We replace it now with something new. So we can't just cancel it out and expect it to go away. We also have to replace it with something new. So this is where we say, you know what? I'm healthy and comfortable in my body, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I'm eating, no matter who I'm with. All the time, I'm healthy. I feel good. Now you might not feel good, but you say this because this is who you are. This is what you want. And you say, I'm healthy and comfortable in my skin all the time. I feel good being around these people that I love. I give love. I spread love. I eat, do, and say whatever I want. And I feel amazing. So that is what you want. Okay. So that's the first kind of steps that you need to take. The very first and the most important steps. So we're basically recognizing, we're breaking our patterns. We're breaking our subconscious patterns when our nervous system is activated in fight or flight. We're breaking that. We're becoming aware. We're changing it. And then we're replacing it with something that we do want. I'm choosing now to be healthy, to react a different way, to break my patterns, to choose different ways to be in relationships, different ways I want to be around food. I choose a different state. I'm going to choose to settle down this central nervous system response, this fight or flight response, and I'm going to remind myself that I am safe. I'm going to act and live like I am safe now, like everything is okay, like I am healthy and comfortable and happy. Like I am my future self. So I'm going to start to do that right now. So that's what we need to do. And that's your only job. It's all about feeling safe. We have to feel safe every moment throughout the day. And you are going to have so many patterns running, right? You'll notice I'm in a pattern here. I'm in a subconscious pattern. I'm doing the same thing. I'm having the same conversation. I'm feeling the same way. The symptoms are spiraling. Like, you'll notice that you're living this Groundhog Day over. That is you basically living out a subconscious pattern. It's all a pattern. And so our biggest job is to become aware of that and then break it. Break it and replace it with something new. So this is kind of your introduction. This is the number one thing that we need to learn to retrain our brain. And I'll be coming back and we'll be doing a lot of videos so that we get really good. We want to get really good at retraining our brain And it takes so much practice. So retraining your brain is mostly about repetition and about practice. So why am I keep saying the same thing over and over? There's a reason for that. It's because you have been playing these patterns out for days, weeks, months, and years in most cases if you have a chronic illness. So we need to strongly play out new patterns. Okay, learn new things, break our old patterns, and then repetition is the name of the game here. So we're going to be talking about this a little more. We're going to get into some segments here on retraining your brain. We're going to learn all the steps that we need to learn to retrain our brain properly. And then we're going to practice. We're going to keep it up, because listening to this, but not doing it, not actually putting it into the practice, will never, ever, ever change your pattern. And we will never, ever move forward unless we feel safe, calm, we're aware that we're running patterns, we consciously break them, and then we replace them. So I hope this video has been a good introduction and very helpful to get you started, and I will see you back in the next one.